Hey man, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to structure safe block strings in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So far we've been focused on combos, mechanics, inputs, other things, but most of the time that you get in on an enemy, they will block you. So we need to know how to navigate that situation, and I'll teach you that here. So the goal in most fighting games is to put your enemy in block, open them up, combo them, repeat. And that is especially the case in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So, first things first, what is a block string? Typically it is an airtight sequence of moves that keeps your enemy in block. By airtight, I mean there's no gap for the enemy to get out, or attack, or reflect, or do anything. Remember I taught you that reflect is frame 1? So if there is even a frame gap in there, they can reflect and get you off of them. So we want to have an airtight, safe combo. It is still technically a block string if it's not airtight, but in this video we're focusing on safe block strings, meaning it is airtight. Secondly, second question is, if the enemy blocks the entire block string, how do we end it in a safe way so that we're not punished in return? Thirdly, if the enemy does not block the entire string, if they only block a portion of it, or if they don't block the whole thing, how do we convert that into damage? So first things first, we're going to want to go to training mode and go to info display settings and turn on attack startup and frame advantage, and then set the enemy to guard all. So what we're going to learn here is two things: how advantageous is a move, and how far away does it put me from the enemy. So for example, the Frieza's medium is -6, his down medium is -2, and it leaves me about an equal distance from the enemy. What about his heavy attack? So we have -12, -9, -5. Now why did that change? Well, we're getting further away from the enemy. So there's that travel distance of the rocks where it gives more time for Frieza's animation of throwing the rocks to end. So for instance, if we throw the rocks from way back here, my animation has already ended and I'm +11 because my animation has ended before even Gotenks was hit, really. So that's why that changes. Keep that in mind with projectiles, but generally what you want to keep in mind is how advantageous are you and how far away does it push the enemy. So how do we start block strings in this game? Typically it is with light because it is an airtight, gapless sequence that the enemy cannot get out of. And it's the start of most, you can start every combo with light. So if we feel like they're in our face, we just tap light, and if they block, we continue the string. If they don't block, we just continue into our combo, right? So let's just assume that the enemy is going to block everything, right? They're on guard all. Actually, we're going to put them on guard first only. This means they will block the first sequence of airtight attacks, and after there's a gap, they will stop blocking. For example, so there was a gap. I built in that gap myself. I delayed the medium to show you that, but they get hit when there's a gap. So we need to figure out what block strings are gapless. For example, with Frieza, you have light, medium, heavy. So see, the enemy didn't get hit. That means it was a tight block string, and I ended it even though my move was -9. I'm so far away from the enemy that it doesn't really matter. They can't get to me in time to attack me. So we're basically even at this point. So what we can do here is set the enemy to counterattack. I'm going to set them to counterattack with light attacks, like that. So if I mess up, they're going to hit me, right? So we're going to go light, medium, heavy. And see, he attacked, and I was so far away that I can actually punish his attack with another down medium. So that is a very basic example of a block string in this game. It definitely, the training mode helps you get more in depth and figure everything out exactly. So for example, I can set them to reflect or whatever, and we can see if there's a gap and they'll reflect me off of them. Now, how do we convert this combo into damage, assuming they get hit mid-string, right? So I'm going to set the enemy to stand and don't switch their guard. So they're going to guard first only, but they're not going to crouch if there's a low attack. So they'll hit a high attack, but they won't hit a low attack because I set them to not switch. So let's just assume that the enemy thinks you're going to go high, and we're going to hit them low with our 2M. Okay, so in your mind you're thinking, oh, we're just going to do the whole block string and then end it. But once they get hit, you have to switch from block string to combo. You're like, oh shit, they got hit. Now the beautiful thing about block strings is I could do the entire block string from before and it would still combo. See that? So the best and easiest, well, the easiest block strings are the ones that allow you to do a combo or to do the block string regardless if they get hit or not. So like, and it covers the same base. So as you saw, we did light, light, medium, medium, heavy, and if they miss, we're safe. If they block everything, we're safe. If they get hit, we combo.